morning and welcome to the Zoom call if you live in Australia, and if you're in other parts of the world, welcome to the call. Today we have a very special guest, Brent Willis, all the way from America. Whereabouts in the US are you based at the moment, Brent?
I'm in Denver, Colorado, which is like lots of like hippies and tree huggers and people that recycle and stuff like that here. So I do that because my wife forces me to. So, Denver, Colorado, it's a beautiful place in the U.S.
Well, Brent Willis is the CEO, Chief Marketing Officer of NewAge Beverages, and NewAge Beverages is the fastest growing healthy beverage company in the world. Is that correct, Brent?
Well, we're fastest growing healthy beverage company in the world, and we're actually the fastest growing beverage company total in the world. And I think actually our stock is the fastest growing stock on any major exchange in the world. But you know, that's not success, honestly, Tony. It's just hitting our interim milestones. We didn't come here to build that. We came here to build something special that we can all gain wealth from. And so, you know, we're just in our, in our first inning here. So we'll get to much greater heights here in the future. And it's like a ground floor opportunity. So I'm excited about what we've done so far, but everything in front of us going forward.
Yes, I look at it as a ground floor opportunity too, Brent. I've been the company for a long time, but I just feel like it's a new beginning now with the company, and it's like a fresh start, and it's so inspiring what you guys are doing over there. And the company has been so generous over the last few months with myself and the team here, with special guests. We've had Dr. Hassey on the call. We've had Sean Whitney. We've had David Van Der Veen, and Julie was on the call.
Now you upgraded. Now you upgraded to the CEO.
I've gone right to the top. So I don't know where I'm going next week. So I've hit the pinnacle. But it's been fantastic. The company's been so generous to give up their time to. So distributors can have a feel of what's really going on behind the scenes with the company and the people involved. I think it's so important. So, Brett, can you tell the IPCs a little bit about yourself, your business endeavours? You've had quite a few over the years, many for your young age. Some of the highs and lows. Just in a few minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm a ex-military guy, so I went to the United States Military Academy, which is a place called West Point, and I was a nuclear engineer there, if you can believe it. So I'm a complete dork, right? So that kind of translates to like a bit of an awker, in Australian language. So, I'm kind of one of those kinds of guys, but I got lucky enough in my career after the military service to run craft foods for Asia Pacific, including in Australia. So I had Vegemite down there, and all sorts of magnificent brands, and got to launch craft into China. And then was lucky enough to become president for Coca-Cola for about half of Latin America. And then I ran a small beer company out of Belgium called NBEV, and we had a brand called Stella Artois that we launched around the world, and it turned out to be a great experience. And we started this company 4 years ago, and it was just an idea, and it was an idea to bring healthy products to the world and to make a difference for consumers with healthy alternatives, and that has just turned out to be successful. But again, we're just getting started, Tony. So I like what we stand for. I like our purpose, but we're not done, right? So just getting started, mate.
I've done a little bit of research, and I watched a few videos, Brent, of you. All right, and there was one there where you were talking about telling your wife about this company NBEV that you wanted to purchase. I think it was like $10 million, and I thought it was a very interesting story. Can you explain how that unfolded? Asking your wife about purchasing this company, which wasn't doing that well, was it?
So, yeah, and it was tiny, right? So she says, Brent, I want you to go buy a kombucha company and get out of my hair, right? And my wife is powerful, right? She has her own company. She makes more money than me, which is not that hard. She's the mother of my children, so I love her for that. She's got more brains and testosterone, Tony, than you and I put together, which is probably not hard in our case. And she has her own plane. So of course I love her for all of those reasons. But she said, I want you to go buy a kombucha company because it's going to be a big category and stuff. And I said, okay, honey. So I found one. And I said, okay, honey, want to go buy this company? And she says, no. I'm like, what? I'm Brent Willis. You're telling me no? And then she says, you've taken $10 million of my money and you haven't generated the return that you promised. And of course, I don't know if you've ever been in a hole with your wife, Tony. And sometimes we're guys like us, we're not that smart, and you kind of maybe dig the hole deeper. So, I didn't know what to say. So I said, of course, absolutely the wrong thing. And I said, well, she said, you've taken $10 million of my money and you haven't generated the return. And of course I said, well, honey, I thought it was my money. And she goes, then she breaks out the finger and she starts waggling the finger at me. She goes, well, there's where you're wrong again. And then I'm sleeping downstairs for like a week or whatever, but I buy it anyway, right? And it was just an idea. Losing $4 million a year with 4 employees, 1 customer, 16% gross margin, and that was the start of the company. And since then, we've gone from 2 million to more than 250 million in it'll be 4 years next Thursday. But wow. I did it anyway. And now she still loves me for whatever reason, even though I have issues. Not as many as you may, but I still have issues.
So what was the big change in Brent Willis, to being CEO of Coca-Cola, which is what you call diabetes in a can, to now a healthy beverage company? There must have been some mindset change, Brent, to want to go down this path.
Well, the truth is, when I was president for Coke in Latin America, believe it or not, I was their youngest president in like 100 years. And at the time, I was really proud. Today, honestly, I'm just embarrassed because the products are so bad for consumers. They're so unhealthy. And if you think about, just take China, for example, there are 400 million pre-diabetics in China because of all the processed food and the soft drinks and those kinds of things. Malaysia, it's bad. Throughout a lot of these countries, it's really, really bad. And those products propagate that. So if you are going to be distinctive and if you're going to win, you can't play Coca-Cola's game. You can't come up with a soft drink and you can't go traditional retail and that kind of stuff. You have to play your own game and you have to be distinctive from a portfolio standpoint, from a product standpoint, from a route to market standpoint, from everything you stand for standpoint. You have to be disruptive if you're going to disrupt a multi-billion-dollar player like that. So yes, we strategically had to be disruptive, but I just felt bad and I needed to repent. And so we created this company for 3 reasons. Number 1, we wanted to make a difference with healthy products. Number 2, we wanted to drive real wealth creation for everybody around the world, especially with stock. But we wanted to work on the income disparity issues that frankly women and minorities have in a lot of places around the world, and a lot of cultures, women and other minorities are oppressed, whether it's in Asia Pacific or Middle East or those kinds of things. So the second thing we want to do was drive wealth creation and work on the income disparity issues for people that just been fighting against this battle forever. So that was the second reason. And the third reason was personal. And that is, I'm sort of addicted to the competition, Tony, and addicted to the fight. And I like just kicking the behinds of our major competitors. And I wanted to teach these, what I think are bad actors, antichrist, like the Coca-Cola company and those kinds of guys, a lesson. By standing for something good and having it be in every kind of fiber of our being and everything we stand for. So I love the fact that our company is so purpose-driven, so honest, so true, so uncompromising in terms of the products we stand for. And if we stay true to that ideal, and execute our business plan, the kinds of wealth creation that will accrue for all of our IPCs around the world that we live to serve, is going to be, I would say honestly, dude, unimaginable than anything you've experienced before. And I'm committed to it. And whether you want it or not, you're coming with me. I'll lead you, I'll guide you, I'll hold your hand, I'll push you. And if I have to, mate, I'll carry you on my shoulders.
I love it. Brent,
Not kidding, you're coming with me and we're going to success. It's not a choice.
Excellent. That's what I want to hear. I'm with you, Brent, 100%. Brent, you've assembled an amazing team, and I've interviewed some of these people. Julie was on the call last week. You know,
She's okay.
Yeah, she's okay.
Okay.
How do you get these amazing people to your team? What is it that they can't say no to, Brent? Because you have assembled a great team.
It's a great question, Tony. One of the bosses I enjoyed working for the most was this guy by the name of Tim Haas. He's actually on our board today. He was the former number 3 at the Coca-Cola company. And, you know, when you get to these big levels in these big companies, you know, there's lots of smart people. There's lots of good people. They're a dime a dozen, and anybody can kind of do the job. But the people I liked working for the most were the ones that were the most value-centric, that really stood for something, that were just good human beings and had such values at their core. And you could see it in how they lived their lives, how they treated others, what kind of father they were, what kind of husband they were, and those kinds of things. And I really gravitated towards Tim Haas as my boss at the time because of what he stood for. And I think the reason we're attracting so many good people to this company, both at the IPC level and at the leadership team level, is because we stand for something, right? We stand for doing well by doing good. And we stand, I live my life according to 3 principles. Number 1, I try to live my values every single day. And my particular ones are honesty and integrity, generosity, and accountability. Do what you say you're going to do beyond any shadow of a doubt. That's the first thing. Second thing I try to do is build lasting foundations such that long after I'm gone, those foundations, those pillars stand the test of time. And the third thing I try to do is I try to work to make a positive impact on other people's lives. Train, develop, make other people better around you, and just give away. And that's why, you know, I said when I started at this company, it's going to be very different than being a founder-led and founder-driven company like a lot of the other companies in this industry. You know, this isn't about founders here. This is about IPCs. This is about putting IPCs at the center and doing whatever you have to do to serve them, to be their partners, to help them grow and win. And, you know, by putting IPCs at the center, which is why we offer stock to IPCs. It's the only company in the entire industry that does it. You have to earn it, so it's not given for free. But by doing that and by putting them central, you know, it all just is a different company at Cruise, and it's about serving others. So I think because we're value-centric, because we stand for something, and we're not here to just have a great company, we're here to have something special and something extraordinary, something different, something disruptive, and something we can all be proud of to make a difference for mankind. And that's different than just being part of another company, right? That's different than just making a commission check. That's something I can be proud about with my kids, and I can be proud about with anybody. And guess what? You know, for like Maria and you and everybody, we're not IPCs. We're not, you know, part of an MLM company. You know what we are? We're owners. It's our company. We own the stock, and we'll own more stock as we go forward. And it's very different if you're working at a company versus you own it. None of us own all of it, but it's just a little piece is fine. And guess what? With what we have coming, you're going to earn more. You're going to get more. And I want more stock and more ownership in the company for everybody. So I think people want to be part of something special because A, what we stand for, and B, what we are about to do. Sorry for such a long answer, but I get passionate. I get fired up about this stuff, mate.
Oh, look, I can see why they wanted to join you, Brett. They can't say no with, man, you have so many
If you
fantastic
say no, I'm going to kill you.
attributes.
Ex-military guy anyway, right? Say no, and I'm going to kill you. So there's no choice.
No win for them. They have to join. Um, NewAge Beverages, what made them look at Morinda? You've made quite a few acquisitions over the last few years, but what was it about Morinda, Brent, that you said you've got to have this company here? It's got to be part of NewAge.
Well, financially, it was really attractive. And so I got, and I've done like 100 acquisitions. I built this company called NBEV or AB NBEV, and we did like 39 acquisitions in 36 months with Belgians, by the way, made it really hard because they didn't get along with anybody. And we became the world's largest beer company from nothing after 650 years of sleeping. From nothing with that company. 3 years later, we were the world's largest beer company. We can have that same level of growth and opportunity here. And Morinda, for me, was a big springboard, right? So at the time, they were 5 times our size. So how does a little company that we were, NewAge, buy a company 5 times their size? You don't take no for an answer. Right, so you sell to us, or we're going to kill you. It's not really like that, but we just don't take no for an answer with anything. We're about accomplishing the mission, and we did what we had to do to make it happen. It was financially quite attractive, but it also came with this, what I think is the next generation of business and how you build brands, right? At AB InBev, I spent 3 billion euros a year in marketing. The new form of marketing, guess what? It's purchase and buy products online. Guess what? That's our system. It's home delivery. Guess what? That's our system. And it's driven by social media and word of mouth. Guess what I just described? That's Morinda. That's Noni by NewAge. That is our system. It's just viewed in a different way than it has been viewed in the past 20 years. So I think this is the next generation. We are the next generation. We're the Uber of business now in this business. We're the new shared kind of economy. And I believe, and I see it so clearly, the opportunities in front of us, and I just need to help everybody else understand it and change this narrative in terms of what we can become. And I saw Morinda and Noni as a springboard and platform. And let me tell you, mate, not everybody knows, but there are some new things coming up soon, like really soon. Like not months soon and not weeks soon, that will be history making. That will be the most historic thing to happen in the direct selling industry in 10 years. And guess what? We are part of that history, and we're on the ground floor, and it's like ground floor, and guess what? We've got to pass on that elevator, and that elevator is a high-speed elevator to like the top of the Empire State Building, and we're going to go up so fast our ears are going to be popping as we go up. So I'm excited, if you can't tell, for all of us to be part of this ground floor opportunity and invitation and stock ownership opportunity. And we are not going to stop until we get there and everybody gets there together with us.
What really drives Brent Willis? I mean, you must spend an enormous amount of hours on this. What drives you every day? And you've probably answered it, sort of what you said earlier, but what really drives Brent Willis to get up every morning and do what you do?
Can I make a confession?
Yes, go for it.
When I was early in my career, I was driven by the wrong things. And I don't think I was a very good person and a very nice person, because I was all internally focused and sort of self-centered, and I was driven by maximizing money and maximizing power. when I was 16, I developed my life plan because I'm a big planner and focused person. And I had two career paths, and one was to be president of the United States. And I felt like God gave me all these abilities, so it would be a sin to waste those. And so I was super boring, and I kept my nose clean. I never got even drunk like in secondary school and high school or whatever, never did anything wrong. And so you end up, when you're trying to live your life that cleanly, you're pretty dang boring, mate, let me tell you. So I was that way, but I was focused on pursuing the wrong things, maximizing the amount of money I could get and maximizing the power I could get for myself. And then I grew up. And all I did was work, right? And then you're really boring. And it's like when I lived in Beijing and I launched craft into China, I lived like 15 minutes from the Great Wall. And in 3 years' time, I never once even went to the Great Wall. How boring of a person and single-minded is that? And so what I decided I was going to change on how I lived my life. And I said, I'm going to stand for something. I'm going to work to build these lasting foundations, and I am going to live my values every day and work to have an impact on other people's lives. So as I mentioned before, that is what drives me. And I'm not here for personal aggrandizement. If I could keep my name out of the papers and on the press every day, I would do it. I drive a Volkswagen Jetta, so I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I've got a beautiful family, 2 beautiful daughters, a 2-year-old daughter, a 6-year-old daughter, and a magnificent family and wife. And what drives me is winning for all my colleagues and my associates and driving wealth for them. And I am addicted to the fight, though, mate. I do want to crush competition every day, and that's what gets me up. So I wake up every day at 5 o'clock. I work out 5 to 6. I'm in the office at 6. I only work a half day. So that's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's a half day. So I only work a half day. And then I go eat. I read my stories to my daughters at night, or now they make me make stories up for them. And then I go back to work and get about 6 or 7 hours of sleep, and then I'm back at it because I'm just so hungry for all the opportunity for everybody. So that's what really drives me, because look, when you have an opportunity like this, it would be a sin not to take advantage of it, not to make the difference for so many people, not just from a wealth standpoint, but with healthy products. So I am just so motivated, so focused, so driven, and nothing. That's why I say you're coming with me on this journey. It is going to be special, and whether you want to or not, if I have to carry you, you're coming.
Oh, my bag's packed, Brent. So I'm coming. I know that you're a person that strives for constant improvement, but with constant improvement, there's also change that you need to make. So I've got 2 questions to this part of the question. What is something that is constant and will not change with NewAge and Noni by NewAge? And the second question, what is the number 1 change that we can expect in 2020?
Yeah, so what will never change is our promise and our commitment to the IPCs, to such that everything we do puts them first. We'll never change the compensation system and make that worse. If we do change it, it'll only be better so they can make more money. We'll never change, as long as I'm alive, the attitude to be servant leaders to them, and to customize and make them first. The company used to be everything out of Utah or everything out of corporate, and you're going to like it because we say, and it's our idea. Not anymore. We just opened up Brazil this last week. Guess what? All the products are developed by IPCs. All the packaging, all the everything, all the names are developed by local IPCs. We made the president of Morinda, or Noni by NewAge, and NewAge in Brazil, also an IPC. So we call him a slashy because he's a part of the company, but he's an IPC too. So that changes all of the rules. Why not, right? So then because we're just one. So one thing that will never change is this morphing of us to become one team, one vision, one company, one purpose, independent of who's an IPC versus who's the company, and all of us fellow shareholders. So that's one thing that will never change. But I'd say if there is anything to expect in the company in 2020 is I expect us to at least double our size and revenue. We'll be one of the top 10 direct selling companies in the world. I expect us to double our profitability. I expect us to double our resources. I expect us to increase our markets and market access. And so we will continue to grow, and we will continue to be the fastest growing company in this sector, in this industry. And I hope the fastest growing stock in the company. So I expect that change of more growth, more opportunities, more markets, more resources, more marketing, more products, more brands, more everything.
I know that we're ranked around about 50, 55 at the moment as a network marketing company. I'm going to take a screenshot of that today because I'm going to hold you accountable, Brent. Top 10, you said. So in our next interview, in the next 6 months,
give me a week or so. Don't count me out, and don't ever bet against me.
I will never do that.
What's wrong with
Brent?
being number one? Right? How many companies are number one in this sector? There's one, right? What's wrong with being number one? I know it's a very American aggressive kind of perspective and stuff, but what's wrong with being number one, mate?
I want to be number one. I want to be part of number one.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm with you. What is the most important message that you can leave IPCs on this call today, Brent?
I would say, look, I know I get fired up. I know I get excited. I know maybe sound a little bit network marketing-y or promotional, but let me tell you, man, it's in my heart. It's real. And I see what is in front of all of us, just like I saw it at NBEV, just like I saw it at Coca-Cola, just like I saw at all these other companies, but I see it so clear, the opportunity for all of us. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And as I said, IPCs is who we serve. IPCs is at the center, and everything is geared towards maximizing wealth and this opportunity to make a difference for our fellow man together. So that's not the same with a lot of companies. This is the only company that I know is really providing stock. And oh, by the way, that stock got 111,000 shareholders. It's more shareholders than the Pepsi-Cola company. It's unheard of. We trade 2 million shares a day. It's like cash, this stock. So we really structured it right in the right way. So I want every single IPC to be an IPCO, IPC owner, and owner of this thing, because it's just a whole new different level of pride. And like I said, we're going to be successful. Nothing will get in my way. Not you, not Maria, not Sarah, not anybody. Nothing will get in our way. And I kind of see us as having unobstructed growth to what success looks like. And we're going to get there. I'm going to die trying.
I am so excited, Brent. I really am. And I'm really, really appreciative that you come on the call this morning. Chat box, please.
Back, and I need an invitation, because one of my favorite things in the world to do is go to the footy, have a meat pie with some dead horse on it. I mean, there's just nothing better, right? So can't wait. So well, I don't really call it Collingwood anymore, but I'll just going. I mean, there's nothing better than going to the footy, right? And having a meat pie there.
I don't know about meat pies, mate, but I love going to the footy. But I want to meet you in person in Australia. So I'd love to be able to get you here. I know I need to do a lot more work, but, we get the numbers here, Brent, and this COVID thing's all over. I would love to see you in Adelaide, and I'm sure I'll pack out a venue and And I know that Maria and Deborah and whoever the distributors are in Adelaide are on the call will to make sure that it fills the room. And that's the same with Melbourne and other cities. We'd love to have you here. I mean, you're inspirational. I mean, I just love talking to you. It's been a fantastic call.
Get me there. I'll sing that Vegemite song, mate.
Okay, practice it, rehearse it, make sure you get it right. Don't miss any words. Thank you once again. Really, really appreciate it. It's going to be a fantastic journey. We'll speak to you very, very shortly.
That sounds great. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Can't wait to come visit you.